So today we will be going over the OP07 pre-release event that will be coming up on June 21st to the 27th. This is just a quick rundown for those who may have not done this type of event before. You will get 6 packs of product to open them up and build a 40 card deck. Remember to bring your own leader and Dawn. If you're lucky enough to get a ticket to this event, you will get a promotional card, Useless Captain Kid, for just being a part of the event. You will also get a participation pack that will have a stamped pre-release of common cards from this new set. And if you go through this guide, hopefully it will give you a better chance at winning that winner card. This card is a full art version of the participation card that you just got, but it will have the pre-release winner stamp on it. So we will start off by checking out the new leaders that you can pull from this set. Monkey D Dragon will allow you to give up to a total of 2 of your current attached Dawn to another character. This could be pretty strong, allowing you to mull an extra counter from your opponent's hand or even forcing them to take early life hits. The other usable leader from this set will be Jewelry Bonnie. So when you're being attacked, you can use one of your Dawn to rest one of your opponent's leaders or characters. Being able to disable an attack is pretty much like having a free blocker each turn. Your opponent will definitely need to rethink the way they play when they're dealing with this new leader. So from past events, Useless Captain Kid has always been the most used and strongest leader. By resting 3 Dawn and discarding a card from your hand, you can restance him and have a second attack. This is a very strong ability, allowing you to clear and control the board or go for game. Another strong leader from past events is Zoro. By attaching Dawn to him, all your other characters will gain 1000 power. This is once again very powerful in this format, since you will force your opponent to use more counter to defend and will greatly reduce their hand size. From the last set, Yamato could also be another strong leader in this event. The blocker count is pretty low in this set, so being able to gain double attack each turn can be very scary for your opponent to deal with. It will come down to how many 2Ks and blocker cards a player has to be able to deal with this leader. In the end, if you're unable to get your hands on these leaders, you should just play whatever you're comfortable with. There are many other options that can work, but these will definitely be what you'll see most at these type of events. They are so aggressive and may give you the slight edge, but in the end it will just come down to luck and whatever you draw. So make sure you have fun and just play what you enjoy. So now that you picked your leader, and also don't forget to bring your Dawn, it's time for the best part of the event. Opening your packs with your friends and seeing who gets all those beautiful alt arts. And of course, hopefully that manga card also. First thing you want to do is find all your 2Ks. In this set we do have a lot of 2Ks that are common, so you may be getting quite a few. This might even be the first set where you get too many 2Ks, so make sure you put in at least 8 to 12. You may not want to put more than 12 because it may make your deck weak, but if you do get any extra, put them to the side in case you need some filler. Or if you get some 2Ks with cool effects, you may consider them as tech cards versus just using them as counter. In OP07 you will be able to find a total of 14 types of 2Ks. 5 of them will be common, so it's a good chance you will get a bunch of them. The next thing you're going to want to do is find your blockers. In this set you will have 17 new blockers, but only 4 are common. 9 of them will be rares and super rares, so you will need to be pretty lucky to pull them. Also, a couple will need to be a certain leader type to become a blocker, so make sure you double check since some of them won't be usable. You will want to put as many blockers as you can if you do pull them. The next thing you're going to want to do is look for your vanilla cards or your value cards. These are the cards that are going to be the staple of your deck and will give you the best cost to attack power characters. These will generally have 2k more attack power than the cost on the card. In this set you'll be keeping an eye out for these 10 characters. Try to have a good curve and not overload on too many high ends or mid end. A good balance is always the best way to build a deck. You will also want to consider to see if these cards have 1k counter or not. Generally, cards with counter is always going to be great for this type of format. So these are going to be some of the cards that you want to keep an eye on. If you do pull these, you will for sure want to add them to your deck, since they will be one of the most powerful cards in the set for this type of event. Gain is a pretty cool card that reduces the attack power of your opponent's character to 0, so this could be a very useful card, so definitely want to add this if you see it. Monkey D Dragon, one of the strongest cards in this set, one of 2 cards that has rush and also allows you to attach 2 Rested Dawn to a character or your leader. This is definitely going to win you games for going for Fatal. If you are able to make it to endgame, this is definitely going to get you the wins. Another card you're going to be looking for is Juribani. This is going to allow you to freeze a rested character or a Dawn card from your opponent's field, and it won't be reactive on the next refresh phase. This is a great way to reduce incoming damage and or just lock out a character for a full turn. So another cool card to look out for would be this Basil Hawkins. If your leader is a supernova type, which you would be if you're running a useless Captain Kidd or the Juribani, he becomes a blocker, but he also has a pretty cool effect where once per turn, if this character is being removed from play by one of your opponent's effect, you may instead rest one of your opponent's character. So this could definitely slow down your opponent from attacking you and or resting a blocker that will allow you to really set up for Fatal next turn. So definitely want to add this to your deck. Fisher Tiger is another card you'll probably want to add to your deck. He's one of the only other rush type cards in the set here. He's not going to be able to attack the leader when he's played, but he can attack into a character on your opponent's field. Next up is Monkey D. Luffy himself. If you have 3 or more characters, your 3 cost or less characters other than Monkey D. Luffy cannot be KO'd by your opponent's effect. This could be a very useful card if you're playing Zoro. Just all your lower cost cards are being protected, and also Zoro boosting up all your characters by 1000 power. Edward Weevil is another cool card. It allows you to attach Dawn, and when you're attacking, look at the top 3 of your cards. Then you're able to put them in any order you like, putting it from top to bottom. This might be a great way to cycle for some cards that you need, or if you're looking for more 2Ks. Here's Mihawk, which is a big body. If you don't have too many of the other ones, this might be a great card since you do get to draw a card also. Boa Hancock, another great value card, but also has a very cool on play. Up to one of your opponent's characters other than Monkey D. Luffy can't attack until the end of their next turn. Then place up to one cost, 1 less character on the bottom of the owner's deck. There's only one cost that's really usable, so you probably won't be using that effect at all. And we have the Afro Monkey D. Luffy on active main or once per turn by minusing out 3 Dawn. If your opponent has 3 or more characters in play, this character is set as active. This is essentially allowing you to counter Bonnie's leader ability and or going for Fatal by minusing it out and swinging twice with this character. Stussy, another big endgame body. On play, you may place one of your characters into trash, then KO up to one of your opponent's characters. A great way to clear board or eliminate a threat. Morgan is a pretty unique card. On play, your opponent discards 1 card from their hand and then shows you their hand. And then after that, they draw a card. This will allow you to take a peek at their cards and see what they may be planning or see how much counter they may have, so you can plan your attacks. Rob Lucci may come in clutch in your endgame when hand size is running low. On play, you may return 3 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck in any order. Your opponent then discards 1 card from their hand, and your opponent then places 1 of their trash cards to the bottom of their deck. Atlas is another strong card that should be added to your deck. If your life is lower than your opponent's life, this card cannot be KO'd in battle. This card could really throw a wrench in your opponent's game if they didn't realize that this character can't be KO'd. This may waste one of your opponent's swing or force them to rethink their attack. Jinbei has a pretty cool trigger effect that will allow you to return up to 1 of the 4 costs or lower characters to your opponent's hand. Then you will be able to add Jinbei to your hand also. This may allow you to remove an extra attack or even a blocker that the opponent may have on their field. Fuza is a very strong value character similar to your vanilla cards, but also has a very strong effect. When attaching 1 Dawn and when you're attacking, if you have less than 1 life, you can KO up to one of your opponent's 3 costs or less characters. Monkey D. Luffy has a very strong trigger effect that will KO up to one of your opponent's 4 costs or less. This effect can also be done on play if you have 2 life or less. Strong triggers can always come in clutch, giving you that slight edge. Lucy is another cool tech card. When attacking and once per turn, you may put the top or bottom of your life card into your hand. Then you rest one of your opponent's 4 cost or less characters. Then if you have 1 or less life, you place the top card from your deck to the top of your life pile. Salvo will be one of your 2 secret rares in this set, one of the strongest cards if you do reach endgame. On play, you may trash 1 card from your hand and KO up to one of your opponent's 5 costs or less or a 3 cost or less. What an insane card to clear out blockers and just go for game. This is a must if you do pull him. Porcus D is your other secret rare in this set. On play, you may add 1 card from your top of your deck to your life pile. If you have 2 or less cards, he will gain rush. This is a very powerful card to deal with and also great to go for fatal. Definitely a must have if you do pull this. Next, we will go over spell and event cards. If you pull any of these cards, it's pretty much a must have. These will be some of your strongest cards that you'll be looking for. Karma Exposure is a very powerful trigger card that will KO one of your opponent's 4 cost or less rested card. It can also be used as a counter card that gives your leader or a character 2k power for the battle. Then if you control 3 or more characters, that character gains an extra 1k power for the turn also. Dynamic Aura 9 Sword Style Ashura Demon 9 Flash is another great trigger card that will rest one of your opponent's 4 costs or less characters. You can also use it on main to add 3k attack power to your leader or character. Then you may rest one of your 3 costs or greater characters. If you did this, you are able to rest one of your opponent's 5 costs or less characters also. Snake Dance also has a great trigger that will return 1 character to your hand and one of your opponent's characters 5 costs or less to their hand. This card can also be used as a counter card that will gain your leader or character 4k attack power during this battle. Then return up to one of your characters to its owner's hand. Naro Beam is a counter card that once you -1 Dawn, it will allow you to give one of your opponent's leaders and characters -2k power for the turn. This is a great counter card for useless Captain Kidd or just a great defensive card that you should always add to your deck. Please Save Me won't really be used for its trigger, but rather for its strong counter abilities. If you have 2 or less life, give one of your leaders or characters 3k attack power for the battle. Flamespit once again is another strong trigger card that will rest up to one of your opponent's 4 costs or less characters. It can also be used on main or a counter card to give your leader or character 1k power for the turn. After this, if your opponent has 2 or less life, rest one of their 4 costs or less characters. You could also say this is a very lit card and should always be added into your deck because it is fire. Slave Arrow is another trigger card that will allow you to draw 2 cards and place 2 cards from your hand to the bottom of your deck. Or you can use it as a counter card. You may return one of your 2 costs or higher characters to its owner's hands and give up to one of your leaders or characters 4k power for the turn. Narrow Beam Sword is a trigger card that will help you ramp a Dawn. It can also be used as a counter card by -1 Dawn. It gives your opponent or leader 2k attack power for the battle, then rest up to one of your opponent's characters. Iron Body is another strong trigger that you may want to add to your deck. It will give one of your leaders or characters 1k attack power for the turn, and can also be used as a counter card that gives one of your leaders or characters 4k attack power for the battle. You also gain 2k attack power if you have more than 10 cards in your trash. If you get really unlucky and don't pull these event cards, you may also consider using these ones as filler. Dragon's Breath, Shave, and Tempest Kick. Other cards that you may want to consider or at least be aware of will be these cards here. These will all be great filler cards that you may run into during this event. Don't be blindsided by them, since they may be very situational or clutch and could be the reason you win or lose your match. So that is pretty much going to be your quick rundown of what to expect at this pre-release event. I hope you all have fun, enjoy opening and seeing all the new artwork. Let me know in the comments if this guide helped and if you were able to take home that winner card. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. Please like and subscribe for future content. Good luck, friends. May all your hands be all feathers and no bricks. Good luck, good luck. We'll see you on the next one.